Let's be honest, most of us have tossed a few things into our carry-on at the last minute, confident that it'll be fine. Maybe it was some pills, a lighter, or that sleek power bank you love. You zip the bag, breeze through security, and think you've got this travel thing figured out. But in 2025, that kind of casual confidence can blow up in your face. Ordinary objects, things you've flown with for years, are now getting travelers detained, fined, or even arrested. No headlines until it happens to you. One wrong item, one mislabeled pill bottle, and suddenly you're not boarding your flight, you're explaining yourself to armed officers in a back room under fluorescent lights. Airports worldwide have tightened the net. From Tokyo to Dubai to Paris, the scanners are sharper, the policy stricter, and the tolerance nearly zero. The scariest part? None of this feels illegal until it's too late. So before you pack that carry-on, we're going through the 10 ordinary items that can land you in serious trouble in 2025, plus what you can do to protect yourself from an airport nightmare that starts with one innocent mistake. Item 10. Over-the-counter medications without labels. You think it's harmless. Just a few aspirin, vitamins, maybe a sleep aid you've been taking for years. You toss them into a small plastic box to save space, right? But in 2025, that small act could be what gets you detained at the airport. Across the globe, airport officers are cracking down on unlabeled or loose pills, and it's not paranoia. Drug trafficking through airports has surged, and officials have no way to tell if those white tablets are supplements or narcotics. In places like Saudi Arabia, Japan, and even the UAE, travelers have been pulled aside, questioned for hours, and in some cases held overnight in airport detention rooms until authorities confirm what those pills actually are. The scene's always the same. Bright lights, confusion, a growing sense of dread as officers bag your vitamins for lab testing. You can't call anyone, you can't explain, and suddenly that plastic pill organizer feels like the dumbest thing you ever packed. The fix? Keep medications in their original labeled containers, ideally with a doctor's note or prescription printout if you're crossing international borders. Even harmless supplements, melatonin, magnesium, probiotics, should stay sealed and clearly marked, because in 2025, even wellness looks suspicious when it's not labeled. Item 9. Smart luggage with non-removable batteries. That glossy smart suitcase you bought, the one with built-in GPS tracking, USB ports, even a phone app, might just get you kicked off your flight. In 2025, airlines and airport authorities have zero patience for any device that can spark, overheat, or even look suspicious on an X-ray. Lithium-ion fires are one of aviation's biggest nightmares. Just one battery meltdown mid-air can turn a flight into an emergency landing. That's why major carriers, Emirates, Delta, Singapore Airlines, and others, now refuse check-in for bags with non-removable batteries. Even if the tag says TSA approved, it doesn't matter if the staff can't see where the battery detaches. Imagine this. You're at the counter, minutes from boarding. Suddenly, a security officer waves you aside, unzips your luggage, and starts hunting for a battery port that doesn't exist. You try explaining it's a smart model, not a weapon, but protocol wins. Your bag's pulled for inspection, the flight door closes, and you're stuck watching your plane taxi away. So before you travel, check your bag specs online. If the battery can't be easily removed, replace the suitcase. Don't trust marketing promises or labels that say flight safe. Airlines go by policy, not branding, and in 2025, smart luggage has become one of the dumbest mistakes travelers make. Item 8. Oversized lithium batteries. Here's a nightmare disguised as convenience. You're traveling with a massive power bank, proud of your always charged setup, camera, laptop, drone, all ready. But airport scanners don't care how productive you are. In 2025, anything unmarked or oversized in the lithium battery category can send your trip sideways fast. In early 2025, Hong Kong authorities find a traveler carrying an unlabeled 200 watt-hour power station disguised as a sleek portable charger. No fire, no damage, just one look from the security agent and boom, a violation. The problem isn't just the size, it's the labeling. If airport staff can't instantly confirm your battery's watt-hour rating, it's confiscated on the spot. Think of the pressure inside that terminal, cameras flashing, travelers watching, your gadget bag open like a crime scene. For professionals, photographers, filmmakers, digital nomads, this crackdown has hit especially hard. Many now ship batteries as cargo days before their flight just to avoid losing gear worth thousands. The solution? Always check airline-specific watt-hour limits. Most cap carry-on batteries at 100 watt-hours to 160 watt-hours each. And make sure every battery shows a visible printed label. Don't assume your tech looks normal. To a scanner, that black brick in your backpack could be anything from a power bank to a pipe bomb, and no explanation fixes it once they call it in. Item 7. Vapes and e-cigarettes. It looks small, harmless, maybe even elegant. But in 2025, vapes have become one of the most common reasons travelers are detained mid-flight, sometimes even before the plane lands. Rules around vaping are now a global patchwork of confusion. Qatar Airways bans e-liquids completely on several routes. Japan applies liquid restrictions that are even stricter than TSA's 311 rule. And on board, the message is clear. Charging or using a vape is treated like tampering with a smoke detector, a serious federal offense. Picture this. A man on a flight to Bangkok quietly plugs his vape into the seat outlet, thinking he's being discreet. Within minutes, cabin crew confront him, the captain's informed, and he's arrested upon landing. His mistake wasn't malice, it was ignorance. The rules changed faster than he did. Airport scanners can now detect residual nicotine vapor residue, and some countries, like Thailand, Singapore, and the UAE, have gone further, treating possession as illegal altogether. We've seen tourists fined, equipment confiscated, even short jail terms for carrying devices that are perfectly legal back home. The truth? If you can't keep up with the shifting laws of every layover or destination, it's safer to leave the vape behind. Because in 2025, one puff too close to an airport could cost you your flight, or your freedom. Item 6. Unregistered drones. That tiny foldable drone you love? The one you use for travel vlogs and epic sunset shots? In 2025, it's not seen as a toy anymore. It's a potential surveillance threat. Airport authorities across multiple countries have placed drones on their high alert list. Why? Because they can record, transmit, and even map restricted zones. And that's enough to make security forces nervous. The Ministry of Civil Aviation in Egypt reported several arrests of tourists just for carrying small drones near heritage sites. No flight, no footage, no warning, just suspicion of espionage. Even if your drone's folded up and turned off, new RF, radio frequency, scanners can detect it instantly. Forgetting to declare it doesn't mean you're sneaky, it means you're flagged. In India, it's now mandatory to apply online for a temporary drone permit before entering the country. Skip that, and your gadget can be confiscated, or worse, land you in court. You might think it's just for vacation shots, but customs doesn't see an influencer's gadget. They see a flying camera with unpredictable intent. So if your trip doesn't absolutely require aerial footage, leave it home. Because no drone shot is worth watching your luggage rolled away by security officers while you're being questioned. Item 5. CBD products. Here's where so many travelers fall into the trap, especially Americans. CBD feels harmless. It's sold at gas stations, in lotions, gummies, even dog treats. You might use it to ease jet lag or calm anxiety before a long-haul flight. But step outside the US and that same bottle can instantly turn you into a drug trafficker in the eyes of foreign authorities. In 2025, global airport security has stepped up chemical detection swabs, especially in hubs like Dubai, Singapore, and Tokyo Narita. Even trace amounts of CBD oil on your bag, lip balm, or lotion can trigger a false positive result for cannabis. And here's the brutal truth. In countries such as Japan, Indonesia, and the UAE, there's zero tolerance, no matter the THC percentage. It's just hemp extract won't save you. Travelers have had their CBD gummies seized. faced heavy fines, and in some cases received lifetime entry bans after being caught with even small containers. The humiliation comes next. Luggage ripped apart, your belongings bagged as evidence, and you standing there under harsh fluorescent lights trying to explain a skincare product. So here's the bottom line. If you're not absolutely certain CBD is legal at your destination, don't risk it. It's not worth a headline, a fine, or a foreign jail cell. That small bottle of calm might be the most stressful thing you ever pack. Item 4. Hidden cameras or audio devices. They look like harmless gadgets. A pen, a clock, maybe even a pair of sunglasses with a tiny lens on the bridge. But in 2025, hidden cameras and recording devices are no longer treated as novelties. They're being viewed as espionage tools, and customs agents are trained to spot them instantly. Security scanners can now detect microlenses and wireless signals, even when the device is turned off. That means your clever spy pen or nanny cam clock can light up an alert before your suitcase even opens. And once it does, good luck convincing security it's just for fun. In Saudi Arabia, China, and Egypt, authorities have detained travelers carrying recording devices that weren't declared or registered. Even tourists bringing hidden lens sunglasses for pranks or vlogs have been pulled aside, questioned, and had their electronics confiscated. The logic is simple. If it can record discreetly, it can spy. And that's enough to trigger a full investigation. So here's the rule. If your gadget looks like it belongs in a spy movie, leave it at home. The line between cool tech and illegal surveillance gear is razor thin now. What feels like a creative travel accessory can quickly become evidence in a criminal file. Item 3. Fake or counterfeit branded items. Once upon a time, buying a knockoff handbag or pair of sneakers on vacation felt harmless, maybe even funny. But in 2025, customs officers aren't laughing. Counterfeit goods have gone from tourist souvenirs to criminal evidence, thanks to new AI-based detection systems quietly rolled out at airports across Europe, the US, and parts of Asia. Here's how it works. Your bag passes through a scanner, and advanced imaging software instantly cross-checks the logos, stitching, and materials against brand databases. Within seconds, that fake Louis Vuitton purse or Rolex watch is flagged. And so are you. France and Italy are leading the charge, hitting tourists with fines of several thousand euros for carrying counterfeit items, even if they claim ignorance. In the United States, border officials have joined in, warning that buying or transporting fakes supports criminal supply chains. That $30 pair of designer headphones from a street stall in Bangkok, it could link back to a network involved in fraud, trafficking, or worse. The sting isn't just financial, it's emotional. Picture standing at customs while an officer confiscates your souvenirs, one by one, in front of a growing line of passengers. That tiny thrill of, I scored a deal, turns into a wave of regret and embarrassment. In short, if it's counterfeit, don't pack it, don't buy it, and definitely don't wear it to the airport. In 2025, fake luxury doesn't make you look smart. It makes you look suspicious. Item 2. Rechargeable lighters. They look futuristic, clean, even elegant. A slick plasma arc instead of an old-school flame. But that tiny spark could blow up your travel plans. In 2025, rechargeable and plasma lighters have become one of the most aggressively banned carry-on items worldwide, right alongside weapons and explosives. Why? Because they run on lithium batteries. And after several mid-air overheating incidents, regulators aren't taking chances. The International Civil Aviation Organization issued new global guidelines last year, and airports from London to Los Angeles now enforce them ruthlessly. Even if your lighter claims to be TSA approved, the moment staff can't confirm a removable battery, it's getting seized. Imagine this scene. A tired traveler at the gate, pulled aside as security digs through his bag, holding up a silver lighter like it's a grenade. He explains it's rechargeable, but the officer shakes their head. Minutes later, he's still waiting as the rest of his flight boards. Some passengers have even missed entire connections over a single plasma lighter, all because it wasn't disposable. Here's the golden rule. If you need a lighter, buy a cheap single-use one after landing. It's not about convenience anymore, it's about compliance. In 2025, the term rechargeable has become airport shorthand for confiscated. Item 1. Weapons you didn't realize were weapons. This one catches the smartest travelers off guard. You're not smuggling a gun or a knife. You're carrying something you thought was totally legal. But in 2025, airports have become hyper alert to disguised or dual-use tools that can be mistaken for weapons. Security teams now use AI-assisted image scanners trained to spot items that look innocent but can injure. We're talking about tactical pens, belt buckles with hidden blades, throwing stars sold as souvenirs, and multi-tools with tiny fold-out knives. In London, one US traveler was fined heavily for a pocket multi-tool containing a blade shorter than 2 inches. Perfectly legal at home, completely banned there. Ignorance doesn't save you anymore. Officers are trained to assume intent first and ask questions later. If it can puncture, cut, or strike, even if it's marketed as a novelty or keychain, they'll treat it as a weapon. And once it's confiscated, you could be hit with fines, interrogation, or even a travel record flag that follows you from one border to another. So before packing, look hard at your gadgets, camping gear, or souvenirs. Ask yourself, could this be seen as a weapon by someone who doesn't know what it is? If the answer is even close to yes, leave it. In 2025, the line between cool accessory and customs violation is one mistake wide. Now, picture this. You've just landed in Dubai, exhausted but relieved. You grab your smart suitcase, your vape pen, and that small jar of CBD cream you always use for stress. You've done this 100 times before, until a uniformed officer waves you over. Your bag is flagged, your vape is pulled, the swab test lights up red. In an instant, you're no longer a traveler. You're a suspect. That's travel in 2025. Everyday items now trigger detentions, fines, even travel bans, often for things that felt perfectly legal back home. The rules shift not just by country, but by airport. And I didn't know no longer helps. Before you fly, take a few minutes to double check what's allowed at your destination. Keep items in their original packaging with visible labels, especially medications and electronics. Know your battery limits, and if something feels uncertain, leave it or declare it. The smartest travelers today aren't the boldest, they're the most careful. A 2-minute check before packing can save you hours of interrogation or years of regret. Safe travels, and remember, sometimes the best way to fly is to stay invisible.